Hey everyone, and welcome to another video in the Master Data Management in SQL series. My name is Elric. In this video, we are going to create base and select views because I really want to get our change management process under control. So this video will be base and select. Next video, I'm going to try to get insert, update, and delete. And then the one after that, we will get our stored procedures so we can stop inserting into tables directly. That's the plan for the next three. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. You can follow along if you'd like, or just watch, either or. Let's have some fun. So first, most of these, if not all of these, procedures for our view creation and our stored procedure creation are going to be by a data set. So we're going to pass it a data set and have it create our things for us. So we are going to need SQL script, view, base, execute. Two things, because two SQL scripts. Because we're creating that view, and all of this is going to be in interface main, and we're going to bounce off the synonyms that we created. So action flag is because I want to see if the view exists, since we're only operating in interface main. If it does, alter; if not, create. V will be our prefix for a view. So when we see something that says VTBL, we will know it's a view of a table. We will also have FUN, and that is a functional view, a view that has some logic in it and is there for a purpose that our base views could not accommodate, but that is very rare. And I'm going to select a data point list from dbo.s dataset name, which will point to the synonym of our table anywhere in the system. So that's basically it for the create part of it. Because I'm getting a dataset ID, I actually need dataset name. Actually need two of these. A short name also. Couple. Let's see. I'm gonna declare 3. Going to transform the data point name. And to be honest, I think I want to create two functions while we're in here. Just because I want to get all of my code in one area. What do I call it? Right, -6. That's good enough for me. I don't really have a name for that section. Really, I guess it's a subject. Nah, right, -6. I'm gonna get a dataset name in here. We're gonna return return text also. And essentially, all I want to do is take the dataset name and take the TBL ref from it. Just remove it. And that's what we will return. Right. And the second one is data point transformation. I'm just going to call this transform data point base view. And there's a little more logic behind this one. So what I'm going to do is I have an incoming data point name, and it's either going to start with int, flag, string, sys, etc. So if data point name if it starts with SYS, it's a system generated column, I actually want to remove SYS ref, kind of like what we did just a few moments ago with the data set. And then I'll have a second if statement. And if it begins with FLG, because we're going to take the 3-part prefix or any part prefix off of the data point. But if you look at something and it says dataset active, that doesn't really mean anything. So what I want to do is add flag to the end of it if it starts with FLG. So instead of, when we're trimming off the prefix, instead of saying, active, we'll actually see active flag. And then for anything else that falls into, that's not a system or not a flag, it's just going to get that 3-part removed. So that is essentially removes prefix from incoming data point. That's essentially the 2 types of functions that I want to create for this process. Okay, so I have a dataset name. I might get the name. I'll call this transformed also, just so we're keeping it consistent. We know what's happening. Control-Shift-R. Come on. I created these in the right. Oh, that's why it still thinks I'm in system. system. Darn it. There we go. Oh, I even screwed up on that name. Let me go fix that really quickly. Did I screw up on the whole? Weird. Okay, no problems. And that's it for that. That'll give us back, if it's data set table, it'll give us back, or if it's TBL ref data set, it'll give us back data set. If it's TBL ref data point family, it'll give us data point family. So now, just gonna cursor through the data point. Where to get the columns. Yeah. We're gonna cursor through data point to get the columns of the incoming data set. So, should have a list? Nope. So I need one more. List. And this will be dynamic SQL because we are injecting it into our create script. And declare action flag. If it exists, it'll be create. If not, it'll be alter. And we have to initialize our data point list because a null plus a null or plus a string is still null. So here we go. I want to make sure my transform data point is null. my name, then I want to make my data point list plus data point name. I'll actually put the space before it. Plus as plus data set name transformed plus data point name transformed plus a comma. So let's see how this guy works. That is fair. Whoa. That is cool. Oh. There we go. So as you see, what's going on is data set name, our str name turns into data set name because 1 is the data set table. Str key name turns into data set key name, so on and so forth. But there's actually this guy. These two. I want to make an additional piece of logic for these two. So we have dataset ID and dataset ID cleanse to. So I don't want that. I want dataset ID for the primary key, and I want dataset ID underscore cleanse to for the primary key. So after I get my data point name transformed, let's actually hijack that variable. We're gonna say if, so when we transform a data point, the data point sysref data point ID or sysref data set ID will actually get back data set ID. So if the data set name transformed, which would just be data set, plus the word ID equals dataset transform dataset plus ID, which would say dataset ID equals the left of the length of the top query then we're just going to give it the transformed, the data point transformed name, else it's going to be the dataset plus the data point transformed name. And here's what that would look like. transformed, or the data point name coming in is dataset ID, and the data point name transformed coming out is dataset ID, and then we have dataset ID cleanse to. But we still have database or dataset database ID. I know it's kind of a little hard to read, but that is it. At the very last, we should have a trailing comma. Oh, this is not how I want this. There we go. We want to make sure that everything is in order the same as the table. Totally skipped that step. Luckily I saw it. Now we have our primary key as our first column, and then our tenant, and then now everything's looking good. But we still have that trailing comma. So when we're done building that list outside of the cursor, we're just gonna take the last comma off. Now, see the active flag. We're gonna just replace, like we always do, the data set name and the data point list. Action flag, which is if exists, create, alter. And that should do it. If you want to do something like, it's totally acceptable. So you could do something like this. Oh, add a comma there. Add a new line in line feed. Get it spaced out. So just a new line. Actually, I like the way that looks. I did this wrong. If exists, 1. Oh. Well, I mean, whoa, that was tripping me out. Oh. course, my logic is backwards. That is fair. There we go. Lies and deceit. Create view. There we go. Much better. So this will be our base view create. Bam, I got it already. So I'll just overwrite it. Change that to execute SQL. And save it. That is, yep. There we go. There we go. So our next one is our select view, and that gets really simple. Our select view will go off of the base view. And our select view just has everything, all of the columns. So what this is going to do is just select from the base view. The thing with the select view is that we're going to have to create a few triggers. So I want to save this, not like that. All my changes and save as select. There we go. Now I'm just gonna execute these two. For dataset ID, which is our dataset table. However, I want to there we go, create a trigger on this view. I'm gonna just call it trigger vtbl ref dataset select, and we want to do, instead of insert, actually I'll do this. Oh yeah. So instead of insert, updating, and deleting, I always hate this raise error because it's missing an E and it messes with my head. This view cannot be inserted to, updated, or deleted from. Do I have to give it code? No. So, I mean, let's just... Oh, yeah. Severity level. I don't really use these. 18 severity. That's what happens. We're just going to, it's not going to let us do it. So that's how we're going to control our change management. So now in this select view, I'm actually going to add another SQL script. And just add that. We should be able to just do the same thing we did last time. I mean, we should just be able to replace the dataset name. And we'll do the same thing. Give it, let's do this. And I'll just copy this. I think they gave me triggers. There we go. Easy as that. Nope, not as easy as that. Then we can copy this whole thing, paste it again. We don't need a data point list because it doesn't matter. So we'll just remove it. But we should just be able to replace view with trigger. Oh. And then we'll save it again and run it again. Oh, I must have had it go in my script. Yes, I did. There we go. And what this will let us do is, yeah. So we're going to make one for update that's you're not going to allow to insert or delete from, and one for insert that you cannot update and delete from, so on and so forth. So we can make sure that if you are inserting, you must be inserting to the correct view. So if anything needs to happen, I mean, everything will be talking to this view. So I'm just going to go ahead and create all of the views, well, the base and select view and their select trigger for everything I have. And that was it. So bam, I just want to make sure that trigger exists. Excellent. So yeah, that is the first part of the, I guess, flow of data, because now we need to create the DUI ones, and then we will stick procedures on top of these so we can remove all the insert statements from our previous code. We have too many insert statements there. We actually want to be calling stored procedures. So before I go any farther, I really want to resolve that so I don't have more work to do. And I think now I'm at a good point to create those objects. So that is it for this episode. We will be doing the same thing in the next episode for delete, update, and insert, except we are going to use the relationship table to tell us what data point types should be there, because the delete view only has 2 columns. It only has the primary key and the tenant, and that's all you get. So this makes the developer, makes myself, makes this program smarter. Hey, I want to go get this value. This value's not there. Okay, we're going to delete it from the primary key. We can't just say, oh, where name like. We have to know the IDs in advance. So it's a pretty cool thing. But yeah, that is this video. And thank you very much for watching. We're getting closer and closer to the amazing stuff. So please continue to follow along, and thank you guys for all your support so far. My name is Elric, and you have a great one.